there was this sort of leads in a little bit, and it's a question which came up earlier during Shiv's presentation, and he's just flagged it again, and that is around KYC. And in the case of fraud, where does the responsibility lie? Any takers on that question, and perhaps Bhupinder, seeing as you're quite involved in that open banking network, and then Andrew, perhaps you've got a view on that.
Sure. So I think one thing where we see is that we need to understand what this is the definition of the customer in the open banking. If we say that somebody has already a bank account, then the custodian of the account holder, the bank, would have done the eKYC process for the consumer. I think with the SSI or the Citizen Identity Program, this is
Mhm.
one of the use cases actually which we were actually exploring in Canada. So this is to do with the financial inclusion or the people who probably don't have a bank account and probably don't even have a identity to prove. So eKYC system, if they are available on the public domain, whether they are provided by government or private institute, but which can be used to actually do this step one of let's just say consumer account opening, then they are really relevant. But again, as I said, we haven't seen many use cases, or let's say use cases which talks about that the consumer identity is not established. So we are
Mhm.
going from a known state to probably a more secured state. That's how I see the first level of use cases or majority of use cases. So the use case where we need to start with an unregistered consumer or unknown consumer, that's where the SSI and the public blockchain can help. I think I will drop one note, which I've seen is Estonian model. Estonia is a small country in Europe. They have done great job with the SSI and blockchain concept, and this is used across the public services. Now, but that's saying that it's not that they can't use across the private sector, opening a bank account or using or leveraging any financial service. I mean. But as we understand, at the end of the day, every individual has to have a bank account to have a relationship with financial service. I mean, Ritesh, correct me if I'm wrong. That's my understanding. If I have to say I'm a consumer of financial service, I will have some kind of account, whether it's a credit account, mortgage account. I mean, again, with my limited knowledge of banking industry, because I come from a technical background, but that's how I see it. Is the first step is, can you provide an unbanked consumer using an eKYC system, whether it is public or private, to open a bank account with some provider. Again, so it's like in future we are not looking at banks as a brand. We are probably looking fintechs as a brand, right? How comfortable we are with the Facebook, the social media sites to share the data. So that's the comfortable which probably open banking is trying to create for the financial sector. Say actually it is okay to share data. Again, I'm going to speak on the learning and understanding of UK and Europe, that it's secure, it's safe, and it gonna probably add value add to to the through the services which banks are not providing to the consumers because they don't think there's their segment to be served. So eKYC, it's a very important part, but again, I haven't come across a solid implementation or use case again within my experience so far.
Okay, thank you for that. Andrew, if you'd like to weigh in, and then we'll move on, which does actually segue, because we're almost running out of time. So,
Okay, no
Andrew,
worries.
over to you.
I'll make it short. In Singapore, we have a national identity system whereby banks are already doing, lending, for example, or granting facilities to consumers and individuals, people living in Singapore. They are already using the Singapore identity system as a form of eKYC on individuals. Of course, then the challenge will be how about the corporations, right? And so that hasn't really still an open field, right? Because each bank is still collecting your own customers' information independently, right? And if you are a customer of 10 banks, which means you have been giving out information to your own your own firm's information to 10 different parties. So that is remains both a challenge as well as opportunities, right? For fintech firms to say, hey, I have my own platform, I have my own database, I built out over the years, and this become valuable, right? So a platform like a blockchain, to facilitate those kind of information that's residing in different parts of an economy, and also across border economies, will be something challenging, as well as uh, there's technology is there. It's just that how comfortable the users uh, want to use it, and also share their specific information in order to complete a transaction, for example. Yeah, so I see it as a very good opportunity for whether it's product development, whether it's shared product, shared transactions, that will become interesting space.